Grilling of government officials continue at the National Assembly. Lawmakers touched on various issues from the Olympics to social irregularities. Kim Min-ji has the highlights from the final day of the interpellation session.
Rival lawmakers agreed to work together for the peaceful hosting of the Olympics. They passed a resolution pledging to refrain from political infighting and to work to make the Games a milestone for peace. The ruling Democratic Party of Korea stressed that the government also needs to use the occasion to pursue its diplomatic agenda.
We need to make the most of the PyeongChang Olympics for our diplomacy. What are the government's plans?
The president will be meeting individually with all heads of state, and if circumstances don't allow that, I'll do it myself. Korean companies will also be hosting leaders from countries with which they do business or plan to do business with.
But there was also a dispute, again over a constitutional amendment. The main opposition Liberty Korea party claimed that President Moon Jae-in doesn't seem interested on the issue of reducing the powers of the commander-in-chief.
The president says we can put off revising the government power structure and work on other parts first. But the majority of lawmakers see this as urgent. I see no sincerity from the Blue House.
The president is not saying we should leave that part out, but is rather calling on Parliament to reach an agreement. He is saying the next best option is to at least work on other parts in the meantime.
The government's socio-economic policies were also on the table, but rival parties had very different stances. The opposition just had criticism.
The minimum wage hike has caused a crisis. It's not just corporate workers, but those in agriculture and the service industries. All economic entities are losing steam. How will this lead to job creation? The government's support measures are useless.
I think differently. 1 in 4 Koreans are low-income earners and aren't happy. This is also why consumption is falling. We need to raise the incomes of these workers, which in turn spurs consumption.
But the ruling bloc said measures to encourage people to work at SMEs could be an answer.
There needs to be a way to reduce the gap between SMEs and conglomerates. Do you have any plans for their coexistence?
If we take Japan, for example, it is common to see big companies ensuring the profits of their subcontractors. But that's not the case in Korea. We will look into how to fix this problem and to make this a part of corporate culture and not just focus on the crackdown.
Lawmakers also touched on the issue of rooting out irregularities in employee recruitment to provide equal opportunities for all job seekers, regardless of their credentials or background. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.